I'm Calamity Jen, and right now I'm taking a break from the memes I'm known for and doing some inmate details that have come across Clallam County Watchdog the past month or so. Since there really isn't a little video on YouTube going over recent criminal activity and people in the community to be aware of, I thought I would do it myself because that's how it works out here in Clallam County, right? So I'm going to start here with a recent activity inmate detail from um, this just came in on March 18th, the booking date and release date of March 19th, 2026 for Mia Cali Villarreal. She had a charge of indecent liberties and disorderly conduct. So in one day and out the next. That is how it goes here in Clallam. The next one is Macklin Joseph Heward, and he was the guy who was involved in the bus incident where he attacked one of the transit drivers. So he has a bit of a history here, but the booking date most recently was on March 11th and then released on the 14th, a few days later. And just prior to that, it shows he was booked on March 3rd and then released March 11th, which it just said he was also booked on March 11th. So that's an interesting thing. And then he was booked on January 28th and then released February 3rd of this year, 2026. So he definitely is what they call a frequent flyer out here. And that wonderful revolving door just keeps on working. So the next inmate detail, Skylar Wayne Vestal, and there is no release date on this person, but they were booked on February 28th, 2026, with assault in the fourth degree, uh, grand misdemeanor, I think that is. I'm not sure on these things sometimes. And then assault in the fourth degree, unlawful bus conduct, and assault two. So I do not know if he's been released yet. And I hope not, honestly, to see what they're up to. I'd rather have them in jail. And then he did have a previous offense date of December 26, 2025, and then a release date of January 22nd, 2025. So he was out for a little over a month before he was booked again. So that's it, right? Yep. So the next inmate detail is Sean Lewis Washburn with a booking date of March 17th, 2026. The luck of the Irish on that one. And there was no release date. So he had assault in the fourth degree, harassment, gross misdemeanor, malicious mischief, and interference with healthcare facility. And do not know it as of this time because I'm posting these definitely a few days later. I don't know if he's been released yet, but as of the time this screenshot of the inmate detail was taken, he was still in custody or booked. And then the next inmate detail of Randy Eugene Wilcox, he was booked on March 16th, 2026, with a release date a few days later of March 20th, with a felony bench warrant, I guess would be the way to say that. I'm not very used to these things, so I'm just kind of trying to read through them and give a little synopsis of what's gone on out here. So then our next guy here was Johnny Fred Watts Jr. This was the guy over in Agnew where there's a bit of a standoff. So he was booked on March 11th, 2026 with I don't know that I know what all their charge descriptions are, but unlawful possession of a firearm, possession of a controlled substance, making false statements to law enforcement officers, and that other one, manufacturing, maybe possessive possession. I'm not 100% sure, but he has a lot going on there for him with a bond amount of $250,000. So I do not know if he's paid that and gotten out yet, but that was his interesting scenario. And then the next inmate detail is Joshua Michael Wilson. He was booked again, the luck of the Irish, on March 17th for residential burglary. And he has not been released as of the time of finding this information. So Maybe he's still in there, but I kind of wouldn't hold my breath on that one. Inmate detail next one, Hope Alicia Tuller, and a booking date of March 11th, 2026 for warrant misdemeanor failure to appear for a hearing on that one. So don't know if it's a very serious matter, but they didn't appear, so they need to be held accountable for that. The next inmate detail is for Martin C. Swaggerty with a booking date of March 9th, 2026, and out the next day on March 10th with theft 3 for shoplifting. And let's see, did he have a little bit more to him? Oh, of course he did. So he also had previous bookings on October 1st, 2025, and then released March 4th, 2026 for criminal trespass and a felony bench warrant. So from March 4th, and he was booked again, yeah, on March 9th. So he must really like it in there. He keeps going back to it, you know? Maybe that's what it is. So in the next inmate detail, James Eric Lagergren, and there is a booking date of March 2nd, 2026, with a release date of March 3rd, 2026. Criminal trespass, malicious mischief, and burglary. So that's so great. Someone up to those activities was out the next day. They must have like a lot of really good uh, WD-40 on that revolving door down there, so it doesn't squeak too much. Next inmate detail, Caleb Isaac Emilio Connolly, with a booking date of February 27th, 2026, released March 2nd, 2026. And so he had a violation of a protection order, possession of a controlled substance, and another violation of a protection order, it looks like. And in and out in not too long of a time. Yep. And then this last one here, I wasn't sure if he had any actual booking, but it's definitely someone to be aware of, I guess, out in our community, because it does say his address is for a transient Port Angeles, Washington, Clallam County. And this is someone who in the past, going back to uh, 2005, sex offender felony of a failure to register. And again in 2012, sex offender felony failed to register. And in 2003, the contributing to the sexual delinquency of a minor out of Oregon. But he is up here, and he just has a whole bunch of aliases. His name is Joshua Michael Wilson, but he might also go by Doughboy, Fat Girl, Joshua Branch, Joshua Michael Branch, Doughboy, Fat Girl. I guess a couple of them repeat themselves, but he's got a bunch. So that's kind of good to be aware of, that someone like that is out here in the community, especially someone who's been known to prey on children and fails to register as a sex offender. So that's it. That's some of the interesting highlights of the Clallam County criminal community for the past month. And yeah, so I kind of don't like that we have a sheriff out here who doesn't put this kind of information out. I see other sheriffs doing this around the country, and I think it's a wonderful service they do. I'm not using any super fancy special equipment to do this. Um, so I just thought I would give it a shot and try to put some information out there and some content to let people know here's what's going on in Clallam County in the month of March 2026. Thanks for watching.